Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to our new live AMA. Today is completely focused on the products of AllianceBlock. So we'll meet today product owners of a few of our core products. It's going to be an very exciting AMA. Before that, I want to address a couple of things. But first of all, really thank you for joining. It's going to be a really cool session. I'm sure of that. One by one, products will be introduced by the respective product owners. Some product owners have multiple products, and then at the very end, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask the product owners directly all the questions you have about the products. So hope you're all doing great. We are doing great. So, looking back to last year, it was really big in terms of achievements, but for us, it was also really big in education. So we learned a lot through the exposure to TradFi prospects with Open Wealth. We spoke to dozens of DeFi projects that use our products, like Elmas, the Bridge, or the projects that are preparing to launch on funders in 2022. But we also learned a lot from gathering feedback from users, testing the DEX, and testing funders, through the bug bounty programs. But most importantly, we were constantly listening to the feedback of our No Mercy community. And we use this to guide the development of our ecosystem. So, just to recap a few of the things that we've learned, one, our open source protocols, modules, we will be able to benefit a wide array of variety of cases with LBT always at the forefront. And our technology can be used separately, like Elmas or the Bridge, but it can also be used as a comprehensive package to build new services on top of these decentralized technologies. And this will be advantageous to many. And the traditional financial institutions need a trustworthy business partner that speaks in their voice and creates solutions specifically for them. And most importantly, we heard from our No Mercy community that there is a lack of understanding between our entire technology stack and the TradFi focused missions. That's why we're here today, to start building that foundation of understanding, right? So these are just some of the important lessons for us on how we can continue developing AllianceBlock in 2022 to ensure its success. So it's clear that our vision and technology are much bigger than just creating compliant gateways for TradFi. So instead, we are beginning to see ourselves as an ecosystem providing end-to-end infrastructure for companies of all sizes and industries to build businesses using decentralized technology. So please note, we have not forgotten about our goal of bringing institutional investment flows into DeFi. In order to better serve our goal of bringing institutional investment flows into DeFi, we have established the Frage AG. This is in the Crypto Valley in Zug, Switzerland. So our technology and professional service provider, the Frage AG, it's a business that speaks in the voice and creates solutions specifically for these traditional financial players. And this Switzerland-based entity uses AllianceBlock open source technology in order to build solutions for TradFi, while keeping ALBT always at the forefront, just like our current products. So for both AllianceBlock and the Frage, we're working very hard on new industry-leading brands with our partner agency, San Francisco-based Clay. And in the end, our mission is to make you, our No Mercy community, successful. And given this, we're constantly developing our tech and reinvesting our tech and the development of the entire ecosystem to bring DeFi and TradFi to the next level. And this will not just benefit companies active in both industries, but also the users in it and the communities around them. So we'll be gradually developing the new brand of AllianceBlock and Frage in the coming months. For example, we have a new chief commercial officer starting next week to build new revenue models for the Frage, laser focused specifically on TradFi. Today, however, we wanted you to meet the product owners who are responsible for the management of the development of AllianceBlock end-to-end infrastructure. So we want to hear today from these product owners what problems do the product solve, what makes it unique, how does it interplay with our other products, how does it improve the utility of LBT, what has been achieved, and what can you be excited about in the near future. So without further ado, let's meet some of our product owners who are developing our cutting edge products. And these product owners are Daniel, for the data tunnel, and Almas, Radina for the bridge and the DEX, and Sebastian for funders. So our end-to-end infrastructure has many parts on the protocol and the module side. So today we will focus on these main parts of the AllianceBlock technology. So I would like to start with Daniel. Daniel, thank you very much. Welcome, and the floor is yours, man.
Thank you. Thanks, Matthijs. Hey guys, my name is Daniel. I've been always passionate about crypto. Basically, maybe like many of yours, I came across it in 2017 in the ICO boom. And basically this year, after leaving banking, where I used to work, I decided to focus my career on the blockchain industry, on the crypto industry, where I'm so passionate about. And I'm going to introduce to you two of our products and take you through the exciting things that we will have in the next coming year. These will be liquidity mining as a service and the data tunnel, where I'm a product owner of. So let me start off with with the liquidity mining as a service. Liquidity mining as a service really creates a win-win in the market. Imagine you're a cryptocurrency project and you focus on NFTs or on some other use case. Your core is not to create staking campaigns or yield farming. This is where AllianceBlock comes in. We have created a platform that enables you to have a peace of mind as a crypto project and not worry anymore about your yield farming initiatives. You will have a stable token price and better liquidity in the market. This is a win-win for cryptocurrency projects that want to conquer the space. Now, as an investor and community member, you will have the opportunity to earn yield on the digital assets that you're so fond of. And not only that, we give DeFi projects and launchpads data-driven insights, how their campaign is going. So imagine that a new feature is released by a product, and then you can see as a DeFi project or as a launchpad that your liquidity is increasing. This is really amazing. This is what we're working towards. We're wanting to give our clients and their investors the best analytics in class. We're always striving to be the best staking and liquidity mining product on the market. And what is an extra USP for our product is that we integrate it together with all other AllianceBlock products in the ecosystem. And I'll take you through 3 of these products that we're going to integrate in the future. So now imagine a startup on funders. Like I mentioned, it is very important that your token price stays stable, especially after launch, and that your investors can earn some yield on their investment. Well, every project on funders gets the opportunity to launch liquidity mining or staking campaigns on our Almas project. So this is really great, and this is just one integration of Almas into another product of AllianceBlock. The other integration that we're doing is to integrate with our DEX. So every liquidity pool can have a liquidity incentive via Almas. So this increases liquidity on our DEX, of course, but also since our DEX has lower impermanent loss, will create a better incentive for you as an investor to earn a higher yield because you will have less impermanent loss. Then the next thing that we want to do, because we're want to be interoperable, we want to integrate our bridge into our admin panel. Because our other projects can then bridge their tokens to a new network and easily and seamlessly bridge their token and launch liquidity mining campaigns and reach investors on other chains. How does AOBT play a role in that? Well, currently we're charging our clients a subscription fee in AOBT, and they pay this to us on a monthly basis. On our roadmap, we have other specialized features that we want to monetize, such as a customized URL or data extraction capabilities. And we want to also offer our clients an SDK so they can build a customized front end, and our liquidity mining as a service product can integrate into other Web3 protocols. So what did we achieve this year with liquidity mining as a service? Well, we're super proud to say that there's more than $60 million in total value locked due to our liquidity mining as a service product. We onboarded 13 clients and more are in the pipeline. And some of them, you saw them probably in the community chat being announced. Hyperscience, Polkalocker, Aura, and they are launching liquidity mining campaigns on 4 networks. So like I already mentioned, we're creating now a comprehensive dashboard that gives all our clients a better insights and analytics, how many wallets are staking, what the total value locked is, and how their campaigns are progressing. And we want to continue adding chains to our liquidity mining as a service product. For example, Energy Web Chain, who is focused on the energy transition. They are in contact with over 100 energy providers worldwide. So it's amazing to connect this chain to Elmas and see what kind of other projects we can reach with Elmas. The second is Moonbeam. This is a parachain of Polkalocker. Polkadot. The Moonbeam chain has a vibrant community, and it's one of the most active communities there. Furthermore, like I said, we will integrate 2 products very quickly into our Elmas product, which will be first the DEX, later the bridge, and after that, funders will follow. So now some exciting developments of the data tunnel. The data tunnel allows you to share data. So maybe some of you are data fanatics. Well, the data tunnel allows you to share data on the data tunnel and monetize this data. But we envision this as a data economy where also companies can share their data. They can analyze some data and integrate this data into their systems and into their businesses. We really envision with the data tunnel that we create a data economy. We envision that businesses can find data there and improve their businesses and create new business models with the data that they find on the data tunnel. Data comes in different forms and formats. And the data tunnel allows it to standardize this. This is very important. And this is a huge challenge within the data space. Because if you want to connect the data to your system, it needs to be in a certain format. Otherwise, you're going to spend countless hours on transforming that data so that your system understands it. The data tunnel just takes care of that. And if we want companies to share their data, it needs to be in a compliant way. We need to adhere to all data privacy and data governance and GDPR. We need to comply to all these regulations. And therefore, we have built-in functionality that can scramble some of the data, remove some of the personal data, or make sure that it is shared in a compliant manner. And you can imagine, if you want to be the best project out there that can handle several terabytes of data seamlessly, you need the best architecture in place. This is where our partnership with Databricks comes in. We created a hugely scalable architecture with them. So Let me take you to a use case. Imagine I'm a business and I'm sitting on a pile of data, and I think that this data is quite valuable. Well, I go to the data tunnel and I upload it. And for every subscription that is done on that data set, I will start earning revenue in AOBT. There's basically every time a fee that the user will have to pay if they use the data. Furthermore, now imagine that I am a startup, for example, a startup on Funders, and I'm looking for some data. Well, I can go into the data tunnel, search for the data, and find new insights into that data, interesting insights that will lead to my business performing in a better way. But we want to also envision that you take a part in this, you as a community, and we'll give you our AOBT in return. So how would that work? Well, one of the problems with data is that it comes in a not so described way. For example, you have a column with some numbers, but what do these numbers mean? Is it a year? Well, what does this year mean? Is it a year of a wine bottle? Or is it a year like a birth year? And when you, as a community, describe this data in further detail, you will be earning our AOBT and maybe even some AOBT in the process. So AOBT will be tremendously used within the data tunnel. When you are sharing the data and earning revenue by the sale or a subscription, everything is done with the AOBT token. So what did we do the last year? We developed our own query language. We wanted it to be a very easy query language, so you don't have to be a lead coder to query some data. So this really simplified the way to query data on the data tunnel and find it. And to validate our proposition, we are in contact with a large original equipment manufacturer in Europe. We're testing our data tunnel and we're working together to create a better product market fit. And like I say, we implemented the enterprise-grade architecture with our partner Databricks. So what's coming up? Well, it's very important for big players in the market to keep their data on their own data warehouses, on their own servers. They already have a data infrastructure in place. So what we want to do is to leave the data there, but share it, still enable sharing it through the data tunnel. So we're literally tunneling the data through the data tunnel and sharing it with some other enterprises. They can leave it in their servers or they can upload it to ours. It's all possible. Now, you can also run a query across multiple data sets. So when you want to run a query, why would you want to run a query across multiple data sets? Well, some of the data can be stored in one data set or another data set. And when you want to combine these and find correlation between the data, you will run the query across the data set, combine it into one, and just extract the result. To really become a key part of the data infrastructure for many companies, we want to connect everything with an API. The API can connect to their systems, so their systems can feed the data tunnel with data. But also, if other systems are using data in the data tunnel and need to run a query, then they can run that query via an API. And these are all the very exciting things that I have to share today with you about liquidity mining and the data tunnel. And see you later in the Q&A. And I'll leave the floor now to Radina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Radina. I've been working with AllianceBlock for over a year now. I started first working on ELMAS and then moved to the bridge and the DEX. So now I'll share more about those two products. The bridge is a fast, secure, and decentralized solution. As new layer 1 and layer 2 solutions are being built, having interoperability between those networks and bridges in general is really important. Unlike other bridges that use centralized 3 layers or have liquidity pools on different networks, our bridge does everything completely decentralized thanks to the Hedera consensus service. It is responsible for the validators and making sure that consensus is achieved between them. Our bridge is completely chain agnostic, meaning that chains can be added easily. We already support 7 networks, and there are more on our roadmap. It is really easy for users to switch between those networks and to also hop from one network to another without wrapping their tokens multiple times. So if you, for example, bridge from Ethereum to Polygon, then from Polygon to Avalanche, and then back to Ethereum, you get only one wrapped version of your token, and then you, at the end, you get your original token back. Also, our bridge doesn't have any limitations regarding the tokens that we support. So all types of tokens can be bridged through the bridge, meaning that all projects can make use of it. What are some of the use cases of the Alliance bridge? So first of all, currently we support the ERC20 standard. So as I said, all types of ERC20 tokens can be bridged. Then we decided that it would be useful to implement an NFT bridge with the recent hype around NFTs and also around Web3 games. But we decided to take a bit of a different approach here. So we will first implement the cross-messaging protocol. The cross-messaging protocol will be abstract, meaning that it will take care only of the validator's logic and it won't be tied to a specific standard. So with the cross-messaging protocol, users will be able to bridge all types of data, arbitrary data. So other decentralized applications will be able to build on top of the cross-messaging protocol without having to build their own validators logic and infrastructure. And the NFT bridge will actually be the first use case of the cross-messaging protocol. The NFT bridge will work the same way the current ERC20 bridge works, only that it will allow users to bridge ERC721 tokens. And then the cross-messaging protocol, as I said, it will be abstract. So we expect other applications to build on top of it. So for example, if another project wants to build an ERC 1155 or maybe another ERC 721 bridge, they'll be able to do that. How Alliance Bridge will be integrated within the other products? First of all, we will integrate it into ELMAS so that clients will be able to bridge their tokens and launch liquidity mining campaigns on the network supported by the bridge and ELMAS. Currently, there are already 5 clients that have launched campaigns on other networks. Then we'll integrate it with funders so that users will be able to participate in lotteries on multiple chains. Then the Alliance DEX, currently this is still in a research phase, but we're researching a possible way to integrate the bridge and the DEX and allow for cross-chain swaps. Currently, the ERC20 bridge requires users to pay bridge fees in AOBT. With the messaging protocol, we decided that we'll change a bit this in order to improve the user experience and not require users to have AOBT, but the validators will still be paid in AOBT, meaning that users will be able to pay fees with the native currencies of the networks, for example, ETH on Ethereum. And then those will be swapped to AOBT and validators will receive AOBT at the end. Some key milestones. First of all, we already support 7 networks. These are Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon, Energy Web Chain, Arbitrum, and Optimism. Recently, we became the official bridge to the Energy Web Chain. Also, since the launch in June, there are over 6,000 transfers, meaning that since currently the bridge fee is 1 AOBT, there are over 6,000 in AOBT collected from bridging fees. There was a total of over 44 million AOBT breached, and currently, if you check the main router contract where tokens are locked on Ethereum, there are currently over 27 million AOBT locked, meaning that that is the amount that currently resides on other chains in wrapped AOBT. What's coming next? First, it will be the cross-messaging protocol and the NFT bridge. Those will launch together since the NFT bridge is the first use case of the cross-messaging protocol. Also, as I said, users will be able to pay in the network's native currencies. And also recently, we enabled users to pay fees in some other custom tokens. So next is the DEX. The DEX is new automated market maker. Automated market makers are DEXs similar to Uniswap, Balancer. You're probably familiar with them. But what is unique about our DEX is the new methodology that minimizes the risk of impermanent loss compared to the other DEXs. So obviously, this is the first benefit. Liquidity providers will suffer from less impermanent loss. This is thanks to the algorithm that combines different properties of the currently existing constant function market makers. So in the background, those functions are synchronized, and this allows for impermanent loss to be minimized. Also, this new methodology reduces the volatility for liquidity providers. Our simulations showed that liquidity providers, even in some unfavorable market scenarios, will profit from the trading fees. And also access to liquidity strategies. This is something also unique about our DEX. We will have a treasury contract where funds will be stored. These are funds that liquidity providers can send to the treasury contract, and they will be used for different yield optimizing strategies. So liquidity providers will not only benefit from the trading fees, but also from those liquidity strategies. The first use case is related to traders. Since impermanent loss is minimized, we expect people to be more confident in providing liquidity. And when there's more liquidity and also combined with the sync AMM algorithm, this will lead to less slippage. So this will be favorable for traders. Also, lower impermanent loss risk. Again, users won't suffer from impermanent loss even if there is high volatility in the assets in the pool. And then the DEX will be integrated into other platforms. This will be possible through our SDK. So any project that wants to integrate the DEX, you'll be able to do it easily. About the product integrations within the AllianceBlock ecosystem, first the DEX will be implemented into ELMAS so that liquidity mining campaigns will be created for Allianz DEX pools, and users will be able to provide liquidity to those pools directly from the ELMAS interface. Also, as there will be less impermanent loss, we expect more liquidity to be provided to the DEX, and this will be valid for AOBT as well. So we expect more liquidity on the network supported by the Allianz DEX. Some key milestones. First, currently the DEX is deployed on Mumbai and Volta. These are Polygon and Energy Webchain testnets. We also launched the bug bounty program. There were over 100 bugs reported, thanks to everyone who took the time to test the DEX. We managed to fix around half of them, and more of them will be fixed with the new interface. And of course, probably the biggest achievement, thanks to the DEX Quant team, we managed to come up with this new methodology that we call Sync AMM to mitigate the risk of impermanent loss. Also, the white paper that was published reached the top 10 most downloaded on SSRN. What's coming next? First of all, we're currently redesigning the deck so that it has the design that is consistent with all AllianceBlock products. It will also significantly improve the user experience. Then we will implement analytics so that you'll be able to track some general information about the pools and also about your liquidity positions if you're providing liquidity. Liquidity strategies, as I mentioned, there will be treasury contracts with different yield optimizing strategies, and also the SSLP protocol, which will be one layer on top of the DEX and will allow users to provide liquidity with only one asset. So that was all from my side. Thank you. And now I'll give the word to Sebastian.
Hey, Sebastian, you're muted at the moment. You should unmute yourself.
I am the best. Yes. Okay. I am sorry, Matthias. I'm sorry, guys. Well, these things happen. So let's start again. Hello, No Mercy community. My name is Sebastian. I am a tech product lead, currently working on Funders, which means I am a bit more technical than most of the product owners that work on AllianceBlock. I got hooked into crypto back in 2013 when someone at a hackers conference gave away some milli Bitcoin, and yeah, I got hooked right after that. So today we're going to be working a bit on Funders, but then first I want to give a couple of disclaimers. I am not in liberty to release any deadlines yet. I am and would rather surprise you than disappoint you. So without further ado, let's start working on Funders. So what is Funders basically? Because this is one of our core products, and this is very, very important to us. Funders has the main goal is to create a decentralized infrastructure that allows both blockchain-based and all traditional types of projects to receive funding from platforms, from users, as well as other peer-to-peer lenders. So what does it mean? This means that individuals as well as institutions should be able to come into funders and just get going. So we have three main pillars for funders. The main one is a trusted funding platform, basically a decentralized peer-to-peer platform that allows investment, fundings, and lending for innovative startups. The second pillar is a participatory and human-centric vision. We built this product on a DAO, on a special DAO that we are building up from scratch. It is not like any other DAO out there, and this is the basis for the participatory economy that we're going to be. Basically, you have been hearing about this, Rashid and Matthias. And everybody, the No Mercy community talks about the participatory economy, and this is why we are a human-centric vision. And lastly, the last pillar is the compliance layer, because we need to be able for institutions to be able to invest in all the opportunities that funders is going to be providing. So those are the three pillars. Are the main goal is to provide what I personally would call an end-to-end startup as a service. So basically, with ALBT always at the forefront of funders, as well as all the other products, institutions as well as people should be able to participate in this decentralized economy. So moving on, what are our USPs and use cases? So first of all, funders has a DAO. It is unique, and it's based on the principles of merit and participation. So by participating in the DAO, you will be generating RILBT, which then can be translated into investment tickets, or let's say into investment opportunities. But we need people, we need users to participate and to build a big community, so that RILBT has a real use case on each investment. So in order for this to happen, we for sure need a compliant layer. We need compliant. We are building a compliant financial platform upon the rule engine and TIDB. So basically, this rule engine is going to be working on GPDR, ISO 9001, etc., for institutions to be able to bridge their capital and start investing in all of the listings that we're going to have on funders. And the last USP is going to be the democratization of the investment opportunities, because basically, if so far not some of the investment opportunities have only been, let's call it, easily achievable by a short portion of the society, and we want with funders to be able to bridge those differences and allow for all of the community to be able to invest effectively, democratizing the investors' opportunities. Our main use case is going to be, first of all, to create a compliance launchpad. So as I told you a couple of minutes ago, the idea is that we are going to help enhance the success rate for crypto startups, as well as increase the transparency and accountability of both traditional startups as well as crypto startups. So this is right now on the MVP stage. This is only for ERC20 protocols, but eventually we're going to be releasing more use cases, and the end goal is to be able to bridge those differences. The second and most important use case that I can think of that is blowing my mind is the tokenization of real-world assets. So basically allowing the tokenization of a real asset to be partitioned into NFTs that represent an investment. And this will basically allow the unlocking of illiquid assets. So for instance, taking a loan against a piece of artwork. So this is something incredible. Or for instance, representing a business opportunity with an NFT and allowing individual investors to invest in fractions of this NFT. So moving forward, let's talk about a little bit of product integration and how does this benefit AllianceBlock altogether. So the first integration that we're going to be handling is AllianceBlock Almas. So for instance, if you are providing liquidity, a liquidity campaign within Almas, it will be a good idea for you to use funders as a launchpad for your product, because basically you would be earning reputation, and then you will be incentivizing users to invest further into your project. The second thing that is, again, one of the things that blows my mind is the bridging of NFTs, utilizing the NFT bridge that Adi just described. The idea being that, let's say you have invested in a portion of a company, and this portion of the company is represented by an NFT. You should be able to bridge this NFT across multiple blockchains, effectively giving you the liberty to take this NFT wherever you want. And finally, the most important integration is going to be with TIDB, with our cross-border engine rule that is going to be a cross-border regulatory compliance rule engine that can be used to make sure that funders is also open to compliant investments by institutional players. This means that if you are an investment firm and you want to select certain rules, for instance, I want to be able to I want my clients to be able to be from the US but not from UK, or from the UK but not from the US, or I want them to be ISO 9001 compliant. You should be able to set these rules on TIDB, and then we'll be integrating them into funders. This will effectively allow for institutional investment to come and play on a fair game through TIDB. So how does this affect ALBT usage? Well, the first ALBT usage that we can think of is within the DAO. The idea being that in order for DAO members and DAO delegators to actually participate in the DAO, to become DAO members and delegators, they're going to be staking ALBT, which reduces liquidity, and as you know, it affects the market price. So the idea being that we're going to be working with DAO members and DAO delegators who are also stakers in ALBT. The second one is similar to the Elmas that Daniel described a couple of minutes ago. We're going to be providing corporations and institutions with an API for them to start using funders on a seamless basis. It will be very easy for them, and the idea is that they're going to have to pay a fee, a subscription, and this is going to be paid either in ALBT or in USD. If it is paid in USD, then we will automatically convert it to ALBT. And finally, the idea behind funders is to basically become the launchpad and become the infrastructure for all of the AllianceBlock projects to come and work together. This is going to be very important in the future. And well, let's move on to the next one. So some key milestones that I wanted to share with you guys. We have already deployed on 5 testnets our smart contracts that have been audited 3 times already, and we're planning on having audits by the major auditors in the market. And we're going to be continuing this development for the next couple of months. We have, on the release of mainnet, we released on Avalanche as well as on Ethereum. And man, you guys are completely no mercy. Within the first week, we managed to achieve over $3 million, and 8 billion ALBT got locked into the funder staking for people to basically start earning IOUs RALBT that are going to be redeemable for real RALBT upon TIDB verification. So guys, this is incredible. Just a week and over 8 million ALBT. Congratulations on you guys. So what is coming on onto funders in the next couple of months? First of all, we're going to be integrating with more networks. We want this to be as ubiquitous as possible. We need this to be as ubiquitous as possible. And the first one we're going to be working on is Moonbeam Network. We're going to be releasing on mainnet, Moonbeam Network. We already have Moonbase Alpha as a testnet, but we're going to be releasing on mainnet. Secondly, we're going to be releasing the API for the institutional capitals to start working on funders as well. This basically will allow the NFTization of investments and lending for this financial market. And lastly, we know that we had a lot of bugs and improvements to sort of through the front end on the beta phase that we released for the front end, and we resolved over 150 of them, fixed or mitigated the rest of them. But regardless, we're still working with Clay. We're going to be releasing a new UX completely from scratch, completely from scratch. So yeah, basically this is gonna be huge, guys. And I wanted me to transmit to you how excited we are about the future of founders, because this is gonna be incredible. Without further ado, I know I have been reading a lot of questions, guys. Let's jump on to a quick Q&A and see how we can manage this. Are you there, John? Matthias?
Hey, Sebastian, thank you so much. And a huge thanks also to Radina, to Daniel. I mean, just, to take a moment for our community, these guys, truly amazing. I mean, it's not easy, seeing these products, quickly on testnet or on mainnet. You can get used to them quickly and go through them, and you think it seems so easy to use, so it seems like an easy product, right? But under the hood, it's so complicated, and it's not just the development of the product itself, but it's also the product management, the development, the management of the development process. We've grown to over 100 people, which are divided over 24 countries. And managing this in different time zones, truly the decentralization also of the development teams, it can be quite challenging. And these guys, they're doing an amazing job. And not only that, they're also doing a very amazing job of explaining everything about the products today. So huge thanks to you guys. Super excited about what's coming for all the products, and I think the community as well. And really important thing to underline is the utility of LBT in each one of the products. Like, I know that someone asked that what is the which product will have most utility for LBT. I don't think it's fair to answer this question with by saying a product. It's just LBT will be the fuel of every product, right? And all of these products, like mentioned before, they are able to be completely working standalone, with their own marketing, their own user base. But in the end, the ecosystem that we're building, they create this whole interconnected ecosystem of all of these products, not just for us, but for startups, for financial institutions, for DeFi projects to build on top of that. And that's really exciting. That's where we're going. Anyway, it's a lot of information that went to everyone right now. So I think it's time that we're gonna answer some questions. Exciting. And I think it's good to have some structure. So we will start with questions for Elmas and Data Tunnel, then Alliance Bridge and Alliance Dex with Radina, and then everything related to funders with Sebastian. And of course, I will absolutely love to answer some questions as well at the end. So Daniel, floor is yours, guys.
Okay, so I saw an interesting question from Anas Mari. How do you go about marketing liquidity mining as a service to products so that they can create their campaigns with us? Well, what we do is actually everything is done last year was done basically through word of mouth. So we onboarded some clients of ours, and they were so enthusiastic that they started DMing via Telegram and other messages to other projects. Like, this is really a cool product, and you should try it out. So we got basically contacted by a lot of the projects. And currently, we also have a marketing plan and a sales plan in place to really start reaching out to the market. because we validated with 10 clients, we validated our product market fit. Now we're ready to go out into the open, and yeah, that's also one of the reasons that we hired a sales executive that is going to be responsible for this. Okay, and then I have another question about the data tunnel from Jochem Herber. How does the data tunnel deal with GDPR issues? How can data be anonymized? Well, that's a really nice challenge. But basically, there are some machine learning algorithms out there that can scramble the data. So they recognize personal information, such as phone numbers, addresses, or other personal information, and they can then scramble it. Well, we want to implement these algorithms later. And first of all, users can basically just delete some of the data when they are in the upload process, or say, hey, this column of data has some personal information in there, and our system can then also learn from that action, basically. So that's how we currently deal with some GDPR issues and how we anonymize the data. Okay, and then I believe we can move on to Ari. Karina.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I've also picked up some questions. First one by Crypto100X. On the bridge, Synapse Protocol has an amazing and easy bridge, which I feel works incredibly. Would you be able to take a look at theirs to help improve the Alliance bridge? Yes, of course, we will. Actually, something that maybe I didn't mention is that currently, with the launch of the NFT bridge, we will also have a new user interface. So the user experience will be definitely improved. Of course, once we launch, if you have any feedback or if there's any specific feature that you find useful on Synapse Protocol, feel free to send it in Telegram or just reach out to us. The next question by Paul Lee. What is the state of the DEX at the moment? Is there a launch date? There were multiple questions, I think, about the DEX launch date, so I'll just answer this one. I don't want to mention a specific date. Currently, we're working hard to implement the new user interface and to also test everything, make sure that everything runs smoothly. So probably in around a month. Next question by Dimitar Petkov. Will the ERC20 bridge go over cross-messaging protocol as well? Yeah, that's a really good question. So in the beginning, the ERC20 bridge will run separately from the cross-messaging protocol. This won't make any difference for the user. You'll be able to access both through one interface. Once we launch the NFT bridge with the cross-messaging protocol, we'll start the migration of the ERC20 bridge. So yes, at some point it will run over the cross-messaging protocol as well. But again, even with the migration, there won't be any change in the user experience. Only the fact that you'll be able to pay bridging fees with the network's native currencies. Next question by Mahatma Gandhi. Are cross-chain swaps available with the DEX release or just a potential use case that won't be immediate? No, they won't be available with the initial release. It is something that we are currently researching, and we want to make sure that we deliver a secure solution, because you may have seen recently there are a lot of exploits related to cross-chain bridges. So that's why we'll spend more time on research. I think that's all from my side. Thanks for the question, guys. And yeah, Sebastian, it's your turn.
All right. So I think we have a couple of questions here. I think I am not muted, right? Just Just to double check.
You're not muted, man.
No, not muted.
All right, not this time. It will happen again for sure. I'm sure that everyone during the pandemic had at some point or another the same issue. So the first question is, why should I stake? Or will we be able to stake our? We will be able to stake our RILBT instead of staking LBT. If yes, how much would you need per tier? The answer is, why would you want to do this specifically? Most likely, the end goal of the tiers is to provide you with a badge so that you can say, okay, yes, I am staking LBT, I have this tier, and here's this to show this. And then individual tiers will be capable of different things, different actions within the platform. For instance, if you are a gold tier staker, you should be eligible to vote for becoming actually a DAO member, for instance. If you are a silver tier staker, then you probably will be eligible for participating in the broadcasting of actions. Through actions being the keyword here in capital A, meaning the signing of transactions, the signing of comments, the validation of that this project I really like, this I don't like. Individual users are going to be participating in upvoting, downvoting the individual teams, their research, their individual properties that have been submitted by each seeker. So at the end of the day, RILBT is going to be just one component within what we call the reputation score of a user, of every participant within the system. What my follow-up question for you would be, what would you expect about staking your RILBT? Would you expect more RILBT, or would you be expecting a higher tier? Because tiers are independent from the actual goal of why we are using RILBT. So next question for now that we have selected right here. Why should I stake on funders instead of a normal pool and get a real reward instead of RILBT? This is like saying that RILBT is not real. So RILBT is very real, and the main objective here is for you to be able to participate in the distributed economy. Not basically, as I told you a couple of minutes ago, the idea of RILBT is just the main component, but it's not going to be the only component in your reputation score. There's going to be a reputation level that is inherited from each user, and this reputation level is going to be measured by the amount of participation that you have, whether or not you have already been a seeker in the past, whether or not you have funded or participated in past seeker projects. How much time you have been working with the platform. There's so many variables that go into play with how to calculate the actual reputation score of a user that we cannot go through them right now. But the idea for now is that if you stake ALBT, honestly, this will depend on your profile of investor, right? If you want to just play it safe, just go ahead and stake on I don't know, on Elmas, for instance. You can provide liquidity there, it's perfectly fine. But if you want on the DEX, I don't know, if you want to actually participate in the investment process, then you will be required to have some RILBT. You can earn some RILBT by a voting process, by performing actions, signing your wallet, breaching transactions. So there's so many things that you can do to earn some RILBT, and at a certain point, you should be able to earn enough RILBT for you to participate. But there's going to be a ceiling, right? So after a certain point, if you want to keep participating in investment and earning much money, then probably you're going to be requiring more RILBT, and in order for this to happen, you're going to have to stake ALBT at some point or another. So the idea is that your reputation score is going to be a balance between the RILBT that you have which is going to be consumed eventually once you participate in the investments. And there's also going to be a static portion. Well, it's not a static, but it's going to be the reputation score of the user is going to be based on the reputation score, on the level, and on the reliability. So, do you have any more questions?
I think Daniel forgot to answer one really important question, and I think I speak for all of us if we want to have the answer to why is that permanent marker on your wall, Daniel?
I think this answers it, right?
Okay. Come on, not the no mercy.
I think speaking about no mercy, we have the no mercy neon sign at the Utrecht office. This is what we call the no mercy meeting room. And it's where a lot of the meetings about the products take place. Thank you, Daniel. I think a lot of us can now sleep normally this night without having this question on top of mind. I thank you guys first of all for answering all these questions. I hope it clears a lot of things up. I also want to take some time to answer some of the questions that I saw quickly. For example, Crypto 100X, he asked, will there be any very low risk pools in the SSLF that will have zero impermanent loss risk? Zero impermanent loss risk doesn't exist. We reduce impermanent loss. Zero, it can never be guaranteed. So I want to make this clear that we do drastically reduce impermanent loss, but not be able to bring it to zero, right? Second question from Mahatma Gandhi. It's will there be an updated roadmap on the web? And would I say anything about the possible future marketing strategy to make the AllianceBlock products better known and increase user activity? Yes, there will be an updated roadmap, and yes, we are working on an increased marketing and a new marketing strategy. Also, specifically, marketing strategy for TradFi. I briefly mentioned at the beginning that we have a really high-profile chief commercial officer coming on board, and we'll have him working on the marketing strategy. Also for TradFi, like I said, laser focused on TradFi, and to bridge that to another question that I believe Crypto 100X asked about, have you had any discussion with asset managers or institutions for them to use AllianceDEX, or is it still too early? I will answer this in a more general way, not just AllianceDEX, but also liquidity mining as a service and other products that we're building. Yes, we've had discussions with asset managers, wealth managers, etc., and we are having discussions with them, with smaller one, mid-sized one, very large ones. This is very exciting, but it's also not something that is, decided upon overnight, right? It takes a while before you can get anywhere really concrete. And this is due to something that also expanded a little on the recent Chainlink live stream, where I was asked about this as well. And the thing is that asset managers, wealth managers, when they take the funds of their clients and they invest it in something, they need to deeply understand what they invest the money to, because they need to be able to explain to their clients the exact cash flow of those funds. The clients of the companies they invest in, what kind of market conditions, and they need to deeply understand it. And if you look at DeFi, it can be very challenging to understand it deeply. We understand it deeply. So now we need to convey this information. We need to convey this expertise and this vision to these asset and wealth managers. So for us, it's now a strategy of education to these asset managers, wealth managers, private banks, and when we are first, focusing on this education, we can also be the first to bring them on board. So this is where we are with these conversations, and it's not just for the DEX, it's for many of our products. Then another question that I saw is from Baron Alton. I'd like to ask Matthijs about end-to-end infrastructure and how they build out the Frash for TradFi. And what I want to say here is that it's multiple layers that we are working on, right? So for AllianceBlock, we are working on layer 2 and layer 3 solutions now. So the protocols and the products that implement those the protocols to usable interfaces for end users, DeFi projects, but also community members, investors, and we also have the focus later on layer 1, so that we have this multi-layered approach where everything integrates well. For the Thrash, we focus more on this layer 2 and layer 3, where we have the protocols, the APIs, the SDKs, and the products that implement those on top of that we can use as end-to-end infrastructure for these traditional industries, mainly traditional finance, of course. And this helps not only having completely ready out-of-the-box products for them to use for their clients, for them internally, but also have these protocols and these SDKs, these APIs, as building blocks, for them to build their own products on. So it's not just about, here is Elmas or here is the bridge that you can bridge, assets in a compliant way. Now here is a bridge protocol, that we have, that we use for our bridge, that you reuse it, but with your own integration of your own products, with your own user interface on top of it. In the end, it's about interconnecting everything in DeFi and outside of DeFi with each other, right? This ecosystem that we are building. So I think last question. In 3 years, what would be the potential more beneficial product? So, I think there is, I wouldn't say that there is one beneficial product. There's no one potential beneficial products, because when we look at what we're building, we really look at the ecosystem as a whole, right? So it's about these building blocks. Look at it like the DeFi infrastructure as a service, almost what we're building, where you can reuse even small parts from different products, different protocols, together into building a complete new product. So, when I look 3 years from now, what I see and what I hope is that startups, new tech startups, will be able to exist on top of what we've provided to them as infrastructure, as protocol layer, so that they can build the products on top of them. So that will be the success for us, for those projects, for these projects in DeFi, and for you as a community, for the investors. So that will be the ultimate win-win-win, right? So thank you so much today, especially Sebastian, Radina, and Daniel. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain everything. I think it was really important, to really lay down the foundation here today for the products that we're working on. At least this selection of products, we're working on more things. We've also quickly touched upon recently about the NFT protocol, the SSLP protocol, and we will deep dive into those things on a later moment. So
we can see how this is not just building simple independent applications. We are creating comprehensive solutions that interact with one another, and that takes time and a lot of effort from our guys, from our team. Without the No Mercy community, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Exactly. It's really thanks to everyone that's joining in today and that's supported us from the beginning. Some of you guys have been with us since 2018, and this is just amazing. It's really amazing. And like I said, we built this foundation today. Now it's on us to make the information flow on these products a recurring thing, not always through a live stream, but more recurring blogs, more recurrent information stream about this product. It's very vital and important. We listen to you guys, and we will do this accordingly. Now, so as a closing question to the community, in recent AMAs, I saw how no mercy can be with no mercy in the chat. I hope today we can have more no mercy than ever in the chat, so that we can have no mercy times no mercy times no mercy squared. Let's get the tsunami of no mercy in, and for now I will wish everyone an excellent weekend, and thank you for tuning in, and hope to speak to you guys later again in another AMA. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.